Hi guys, I'm Yuki. Solana is famous for being fast and PoH history usually gets the credit. But here's a twist. It's not the agreement mechanism most people assume. And it's not the speed engine either. It's a clock that never stops, and this clock is on its way out. In the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through how it works live on this demo site I built. The hardest problem in a blockchain is agreeing on what happened first across thousands of scattered computers without negotiating it with each other. Look at the left side. If they settle it by talking, they pass messages back and forth like this. The more they talk, the slower and more collision prone it gets. Then now the right side. If everyone watches one shared clock, the moment A lands on tick 3 and B on tick 5, the other is settled, no time seeding round trip needed. That's the core idea of PoH. And they still pass blocks and both around, they just don't need a back and forth to agree on the time. So what's inside the clock? The rule is that simple. Each call is made from the one before it. Clock once like this. The call just came out becomes the next input and you just repeat that forever using a function called SHA256. Two things matter. First, you can't skip ahead. You can't jump straight to the millionth step. You have to crank through every once. So the number of cranks is the elapsed time. Second, you can't rewind. It only goes that each one chain to the last property pays off in tableau 2, where we seed transactions into the chain. Block 3 is a payment from Alice to Bob. Let's tamper with it. The instant we change the recipient to hacker, block 3's code changes, and since 4 is built from 3 and 5 from 4, everything after it breaks like dominoes. Change one thing and everything downstream stops matching. Tampering is called instantly. That's what the clock protects the record really means. Now let me clear a common myth. Making the clock is slow because you can only crank in order, but checking it can be split up. And more cores and verification gets faster and faster like this. And 3 times. And max. But careful, this is not some cheap shortcut proof. Checking just relearns the same computation. The total work is identical. It's simply shared across many workers. Let's line up the units of time. The biggest is an epoch, roughly 2 to 3 days. Inside it, about 432,000 slots. One slot is around 0.4 seconds. Inside a slot, 64 ticks. And inside a tick, about 12,800 hashes. The single hash at the bottom is one crank from tableau 1. So a couple of dates break all the way down continuously to a single hash. That's the clock's ruler. And who turns the clock? A reader takes the button and advances in turn. Like this. The more stake you have, the more often it's your turn. Then now let's knock one out. Like this. When a reader drops, the slot is simply empty. The clock doesn't stop. It moves on. And here is the biggest misconception. PoH is not consensus itself. What if the chain forks? The clock just stamps both branches the same way. It can't tell you which one is real. Both decide that. Each validator votes weighted by its stake, and The branch that crosses to south becomes fire. The winner was chosen by the votes, not by the clock. The clock keeps order, something else judges. And like I said at the start, Solana's low speed isn't PoH either. That comes from a separate engine called C-Level that runs transactions in parallel. The clock is only the timekeeper. Finally, the retirement. An upgrade called Alpenglow replaces both PoH and Tower BFT. Timing becomes a fixed 400 milliseconds plus each validator's local clock. Finality moves to voter and block delivery to loader. The result is time to finality drops from 12.8 seconds and thus through irreversible finality to roughly 0.1 to 0.15 seconds, about 100 times faster. And since voting moves off-chain, about 75% of the block free up for real transactions. But as of now, governance approved it in September 2025. A live test cluster migration, the Alpen switch, was demonstrated in May 2026. On Anza's community cluster, not the public tested yet. And mainnet is targeted for Q3 to Q4 in 2026, not live yet. To sum up, proof of history isn't agreement and it isn't the speed engine. It's a clock that never stops, handing everyone the order and the elapsed time with no negotiation. The demo is linked in the description. If this helped, a like and a subscribe go a long way. See you in the next one. Bye.